Welcome to the tutorial video on jQuery basics. In this video, I'm going to cover using selectors. So in the previous video, we discussed how we can add and load the jQuery library as part of either the header or the body, depending on what our concerns were about loading and bandwidth. Once we've loaded that library, we can then write code that will act upon it. So coming into this example, we see again, I have a script tag that includes the jQuery library, so it will be included before the code that I have within the body. So moving down here, we see I have 4 different division or div tags, each with the class empty element. One of the ways jQuery works is to act upon the document object model, or the DOM, within a web browser. We see here I have a $sign and then an anonymous function wrapped around that. Well, the $sign is one of the overloaded characters within jQuery that allows us to access it. In fact, it's frequently very common to have the $sign to precede any jQuery functionality we're using. So we see here jQuery functionality, a function, call, opening and close parentheses, wrapping an anonymous function. This says once jQuery is ready, go ahead and call this function. So we know jQuery is ready. It was loaded in the top as part of the head. Down here in the body, we say, okay, now that you're ready, go ahead and call this function and execute these instructions we've given it. So within this anonymous function, we have, again, a $sign. In this case, though, within the parameters, we have a string that represents a CSS selector. Selectors within jQuery can either be used as part of the CSS, using either the ID, the hash, or the class, the period. They can also select attributes and other very complex selector combinations. In this case, though, we're just using the simple class. So dot notation, period, and the name of the class, just as if it was a CSS selector for using CSS. In this case, though, we're acting upon anything it finds as a selector that matches the class empty element. We're then additionally using, or chaining in this case, another function, text, to act upon the text of those elements that it finds. This is where jQuery really shines. This allows us to very quickly, using selectors within jQuery, find different elements within a page and then act upon them in different ways. In this case, with the text function, as part of this, we're saying find these elements and then change their text. In this case, we're finding all of the elements that have the class empty element. Then we're saying change their text to and the following string. And in fact, when I run that, we now see this. We saw for just a very split second all of this content appeared. This is some different content. And then when it got down here to the script tag, it replaced it with we all have the same text content. Because each one of these div elements has a class empty element. When the selector empty element was found using jQuery, it called the text function and changed their text content. So as a review, we can use jQuery as part of manipulating the document object model, or the DOM, within a web browser. We can use selectors especially to find and manipulate different elements within that document. Selectors work within jQuery using different selector notation, most of which matches CSS. So in this case, we're looking for classes. We could just as easily have looked for IDs using the hash, or using different attributes or other combinations of things. Once we have those, we can act upon them through chaining functions. In this case, we're chaining the text function to act upon anything that was found. And so, once we had found them, we changed all of their content to meet this. Again, as a quick review, when we're using jQuery, we often use the $sign. So in this case, as I mentioned, this was our jQuery is ready function. And so once it's ready, it called the anonymous function within it, the anonymous function, and acted this code, which allows us to find that matching selector and chain the text function on top of that, changing the text content of the elements that was found with the selector. Thanks for watching.